Hola, I'm sorry, hello Pisces, my name is Agatha and this is the tarot reading for March 2019. It's a very general reading. If you like your own personal consultation, write to dunyazade@gmail.com and I'd be delighted to work with you. This month I'm going to use, you know what I'm going to use? The Prisma Visions Tarot. And this is going to be beginning, middle and end of the month. And it's a 3-card reading. Even though it's beginning, middle, and end, it can also be read as a unified energy that's going to be present for you throughout the month, or at least at some point during the month. Now, you got one card that only exists in the Prisma Visions Tarot, which is the Illumination card. And I'm going to read this as another Major Arcana card. If I read this as a Major Arcana card, the cards that you got were Judgment, Illumination, and the Tower. You got 3 Major Arcana cards. So, for most of you, if not all, Pisces, and this is Sun, Moon, or Rising, especially if you have encountered my channel, hello, subscribe, it means that this reading is absolutely for you. Why? Because I have very little views in my English tarot readings, and if you are here and you're seeing this, it means this is absolutely for you. Okay, so pay attention. This tells me that for the majority of people who have something in Pisces in their chart, Sun, Moon, or Rising, the month of March 2019 might be a very transformative sort of month. It could be outside, in outside circumstances, job, relationships, personal life, whatever, but it could also be inside of yourself. Okay, so in the beginning of the month you have the Judgment card, which is the card of rebirth, which is a card of major transformation. That's basically what every other card is telling me on this reading. There's major transformation in your life, Pisces, in March 2019. This also could be like a calling. This is a card connected with a calling. You have a calling. There's a calling. There's some sort of vocation. There's something that maybe you've been hiding from yourself, that you didn't want to look at. Now you have to look at it and you have to pursue it. Okay? This is an open door. Do you see the open door? An open door for a new life. Okay? The Judgment card is connected with the planet Pluto. Pluto is a planet that brings major transformation. So, you are a Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, but Pluto might be transiting in your natal chart some very important points. That tells me the same. So let's say you are a Pisces, Sun in Pisces, but you might have like, I don't know, several planets in Aries. Because Pluto is transiting the sign of Capricorn right now, it might be throwing a square at the planets that you have in Aries. This is just an example. You might have, I don't know, planets in other cardinal signs like Libra or like Cancer, okay? Or even in Capricorn, you might have something in Capricorn, and therefore you are being affected by the transit of Pluto in Capricorn. If it's not that, Pluto might be transiting your 1st house, your 4th house, your 7th house, or 10th house. So these are angles. Therefore, there's major transformations in your personal self, in your life, in where you live, your domestic life, with your partnerships, romantic, family. Family, it's the 4th house. The 7th house is, with your husband, your wife. With contracts, because it's the 7th house. If you have your own business, something connected with your clients, it's the 7th house. Or in your work, your career, in your position in life, your social reputation, which is the 10th house. Or maybe let's say that Pluto is transiting the planet that is an important ruler for you. Let's say that. When I say it's transiting, it could be conjunction, opposition, square. I'm not counting trine, but it could be trine. So I don't know. Let's say that your rising sign is Libra. Okay, and let's say that Pisces, you have Libra at 2 degrees. Therefore, Pluto is already passed in a square. Your 1st house, so it's not affecting your 1st house, but the Libra is the planet that rules Libra is Venus. And let's say that you have your Venus in Aries. And let's say that you have your Venus at 20 degrees of Aries. For instance, I'm just giving you an example. I have no idea. Pluto right now is throwing a square from Capricorn to Venus. And Venus, in your case, in this case that I'm giving, is a very important planet. So you might have something in terms of Pluto, a very important transit of Pluto in your natal chart, transforming your life. So in the case that I'm giving, like the Venus, it would be personal relationships, it would be money, it would be career not, but love. No, Venus is love, Venus is values, the value that you give yourself, so partnerships, okay, so, you know, there's several possibilities. Okay, what else? Illumination. In the middle of the month, you have illumination. So illumination is just, no, to me, some of you might have like a sudden illumination, inner illumination, like an epiphany, like something that made no sense to you before, suddenly it makes sense. Like suddenly you just kind of discover the truth. Now I'm going to read from the little book this card, Illumination, okay? Because this is a card that only exists on this deck. So to the cat, there's a tiny little cat here. I don't know if you see it. It's a tiny, tiny little cat. To the cat, the sun is just the sun. It offers warmth and feeds all living things. The cat does not question the existence of the sun, it just appreciates it. Sometimes in life, the answer is right in front of you. You've just been asking the wrong question. Illumination is a beautiful thing. Either it arrives through spirituality or a simple shift in consciousness. It will feel as if everything suddenly fits together perfectly without doing anything differently. So for some of you, there's no difference even in the outside world, in the outside life. You keep doing the same job, you keep having the same type of relationships. There's no change in family, there's no change in relationship, love, children, work, there's nothing. But suddenly inside there's an illumination and things are different, okay? So if this card shows up in a reading, you are either in the process of awakening, some of you are awakening spiritually, you are in the process of awakening something, or perhaps you have already. Take a closer look, feel the light radiating from within you. It is there and always has been. You just needed to be reminded. You are radiating light that maybe you have kept hidden from yourself. At the end of the month, you have the Tower. Okay, the Tower speaks of letting go of old structures that no longer fit your life because you are going on a new route. Now this letting go could be also letting go of old ways of thinking, not necessarily moving on from your job, from your relationship, from your house. It could be that for some. For others, it's more like of an inside thing. The Tower, even though it's not very, you don't see it here, but usually in traditional decks, there's like lightning striking the Tower, and the Tower bursts open. So it's like that. You have light inside of you, and this light needs to come out. And when the Tower falls, the light comes out. Illumination, awakening. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope I'm going to be more clear. For some of you, you have some sort of ability, some sort of gift. To me, it's not exactly a gift because I never want to have that. Okay, I don't call it a gift. Many people call it a gift, but I'm gonna use the word gift of clairvoyance, clairaudience. You could be a little bit psychic, not just a little bit, like a lot psychic. Okay, and maybe this is something that was always there inside of you, and maybe you were not looking at it because you didn't want to look at it. Maybe this was always part of your vocation and your calling, and at some point you have to look at it and you have to follow it. This is the time. March 2019, for some of you, it's the time. And there's this light, there's this ability and skill that you have that many don't, and it's gonna come out. I'm sorry to tell you, it's gonna come out, and you have to use it, and might as well appreciate it. Now, I don't call it gift because to me it would be a very scary thing, and I don't want to have those sorts of things. Okay, it's interesting. Okay, I prefer to have tools that I can use. I don't want to know anything about you without my tools. I don't want to be looking at you, and I have nothing in Pisces, by the way. I don't want to be looking at you and just knowing your soul. I don't want to know your soul. Okay. But to me, it feels like Pisces is usually a very intuitive sort of person. They're very intuitive. It feels like that's being brought to the surface. It's awakening inside of you, and it's going to radiate. I'm sorry to tell you. And also it feels like a spiritual awakening. So that's it, Pisces. This is a reading that I have. I'm sorry to tell you because maybe some of you really didn't want that. Because I know if it was me, I would not want this. I really would not. So this is the reading that I have for March 2019. And I really do hope that you have a great month. Bye-bye.